Hello everybody, I'm Dave Fox with globejotting.com. This is my new musical instrument which I bought a few weeks ago in Nepal. It is called a sarangi, and I know it looks a lot like a violin, but it is played in a totally different way from a violin. You hold it on your knee like a cello, like a miniature cello, and you always bow two strings at once, and you don't push your fingers down on the strings like you do with a regular violin. What you do is you just kind of tap your nails against the side of the strings for your first and second fingers. Even on these middle strings, you just kind of work them in there. I do not play this well at all. I sound like a dying cat. So instead of playing it myself, I'm going to show you a video in just a second of a friend of mine who is a master sarangi player who gave me a private concert in his home when I was in Pokhara, Nepal's second largest city, a few weeks back. I want to quickly tell you, though, the story about how I met Ram, because it's what really makes this instrument special to me. There were these guys selling touristy versions of the sarangi, much smaller ones, on the streets. And you know how it is when these trinket sellers keep coming up to you and they're trying to sell you stuff and you don't want it, and you keep pushing them away, pushing them away. Well, I noticed that even these miniature ones had a pretty good sound, and I got curious about them. So I started chatting with this guy, Ram, who was trying to sell me one of the touristy ones. And I asked him, hey, what about this one? He had one big one to show people what the real ones were like. And I said, would you sell me that one? And that is the sarangi that I ended up buying. We haggled over price for a while, and what sealed the deal for me was he said, if you come back, we were by this lakeside area in Pokhara. He said, if you come back to the lake, I will be here all day today, and I'll give you a free lesson. And I thought, free music lesson, cool, go for it. Well, this incredible rainstorm began. And so we ended up, I met him out on the street later in the day, and I said, where can we go have this lesson, because it's raining so hard right now. And he said, well, do you want to come to the room where I live and I can teach you there? I'm a pretty good judge of people when I travel, and I don't want to encourage anybody out there to randomly walk down strange alleyways with strangers, but he seemed like an okay guy, and I am always in search for a good story. So anyway, I went, I followed him down this narrow, kind of twisting alley, the kind of place that tourists just would not be inclined to even notice. And he took me to a one-room, it was like a small cinder block room, no indoor plumbing. It was where he lived. He had a bed, he had a small end table, he had a few potatoes on the floor, and about 12 of these instruments that were all leaned up against the wall behind his bed. Turns out that he does not just play them, he also makes them. He and his son make them together. And so he gave me a lesson in his home, and then he gave me a mini concert afterwards, and so I'm going to play you that video right now. This is my pal, my new Nepali pal, Ram Lal, playing the sarangi in his home in Pokhara.
Eknale bandhu, dainale bandhu, nirgalai takeko, nirgalai maile takeko, aina mayalai takeko, re santiri, urera damki danama manjang re santiri, urera damki danama manjang re santiri.
So there you have it. That was my pal Ram Lal playing the sarangi in his home in Pokhara, Nepal. The moral to this story, I think very often when we travel, we see people and our first tendency is to push them away. And sometimes if you start a conversation with somebody, if they're trying to sell you something, if you can pull them away from the sales pitch and say, hey, tell me about your life, you can end up having some really incredible, richer cultural experiences. So talk to strangers, be safe, but be friendly and ask people about their lives. They are very often very happy to share them with you. If you're looking for more videos from Nepal, I also shot a fun video in Pokhara on New Year's Eve showing the totally insane celebrations that they had on that night. You'll find that on YouTube, and on my website, globejotting.com, you will find lots more travel tales as well as tips and courses to help you write stories about your own travel adventures. Thank you for watching. Until next time, for globejotting.com, I'm Dave Fox.